Eldove, where were you during the sermon?
I was sitting in the pews.
Perception check from both of you. Arik, you can make it an advantage. And I still want an answer to Harmon's question.
Yeah.
It would be very rude to not answer him.
Is this happening inside or outside
16 and
of the
20
church?
now. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
No, this is a perception check while you're inside the church. Sitting
Okay,
in
then,
the...
yeah.
27.
Because I obviously didn't bring my hawk into the church.
Obviously
was
not.
The statement.
Clearly not.
Yeah. 5. That's nothing. 7.
Arik,
27.
you made... Every time you've been on the church grounds so far, you've seen their groundskeeper around. Except today. He was not in the church at all. He was not there for the sermon, and you haven't seen him at all this morning. And that strikes you as very strange.
Okay.
And Harmon still wants an answer to his question.
Sure.
Of course.
Between the awful things I've been hearing about what goes on in this town and how the church is involved with them, and the fact that for some reason the church is not beyond reproach in terms of what I've been hearing, both enrages me and depresses me.
What have you been hearing? Because I don't know what you're talking about.
Eldove is not here for this conversation.
No, I know. I'm just out of character.
Okay.
The fact that there's an assassin's guild, the fact that, the church may be wrapped up in it, the fact that the high priest may be putting on an act.
Oh yeah, that's
It's all
true.
sort of... It's all just... It's all insane.
Oh, it's too bad someone robbed the high priest with a banana.
Harmon, he looks hurt by your statements, and he says, well, I assure you these rumors about Garrett aren't true. And even if they were, of course, the church would have no dealings with these people. I'm disappointed that these rumors have colored your opinion of us, brother.
Yes, no one seems to know about the Assassin Guild that's going on, and yet me and my comrades just faced off against them last night. So yes, no one knows anything about the Assassin's Guild. I get it.
The mention of fighting them last night, Harmon says, well, have you gone to the guards? Have you gone to the authorities to report this attack?
It just happened, literally a few hours ago. That's our next move.
Harmon calls one of the acolytes over. Tells him, send a runner to the castle.
Blood on my clothes.
Now, did you purposely leave the blood on your clothes?
No,
Yes.
There's no blood on his clothes. I cast prestidigitation.
I don't want to leave the blood on my clothes.
I was very clear.
Okay.
About
I
guess not,
prestidigitation.
So, no, okay.
I guess
He tells the acolyte, send a runner up to the castle. Have them send some of the guards down. Says there's been an attack at night. There's been a ploy for Brother Eric's life. And the acolyte nods and runs off. And Harmon says, we'll get to the bottom of this. He says, we've been experiencing strange things at the church. This may be related to the break-in from the other night.
Where is the groundskeeper?
And Harmon shakes his head and says, I haven't seen him.
And of course not.
Usually he's the first one awake. But this morning, I assume he's in his room.
Cool.
He's probably had a hell of a night too.
Go there now.
So you go to the grounds. So you leave the church and go to building number 39,
Or whatever.
which is it's a just a
How many
just,
hats are in it?
just a shack.
Hats
wait
with
a minute.
Jack.
39, I think that's the
That's
abandoned
Prisca's.
house where Prisca was hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
I thought it was like I thought the groundskeeper's shelter was like just a little like.
No, it's actually built right next to the church. It's right next to the main church building.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, give me 1 second here.
I saw him leave the church, so I am with him now.
Yeah, I mean, you can go with him. Let me get the church up on screen here.
I'm in a bit of a mood today, so this groundskeeper's about to have a very bad day, whether he's an assassin or not.
Go to around to the side where the groundskeeper's door is, and Harmon raps on the door a few times. waits a moment, and there's no response. And he looks, says, I hope he's not sick. And takes out a ring of keys, fits one into the lock, unlocks it. And he opens the door. And as soon as he does, he triggers a trap.
Figured.
A string from the door was connected to a crossbow, which is balancing on a barrel in the center of the room. And this crossbow hits Harmon right in the neck.
Ugh.
And he falls backwards right into Arik. And
God
he starts
damn it.
like making these surprised gurgling noises.
I cast, because I still have some charges of it left. Where is it? Cure Wounds.
Okay. And you remove the crossbow bolt, cure the wounds, and Harmon starts gasping for air. And he's on the ground now. He's on his knees. He looks up in your face and says, Brother, I fear you were right. Lothar must be found.
It's a good thing you don't have an Assassin's Guild in town, huh?
Don't have to be a jerk about it. Jeez.
Yeah, no, right? No?
My
Fuck.
sister's dead!
My sister's dead!
She'll never be named now!
Oh, that means I can name her. Hold on. Let me... Fantasy name generator.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Oh no, hold up. If we're gonna be running name generators,
No, you said you're not going to name her. That means I get to name her.
I carry...
Oh, cool. They just added the detective name generator. Your sister's name was Harris Sawyer. Private Eye.
I still think she should be named She-Dove.
So,
She-Dove.
before too much longer, some guards arrive at the church.
Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. I just ran half-elf names, and I saw one that's so terrible. I have to pick it.
Okay.
I can't even just pronounce this. I have to also put it into mumble. It's so bad.
Yes.
It's pronounced Vilsis, but this is the name.
Vilsis? Oh my god. that is-
VYLSYS. I think
That
I've
is
used that
amazing.
command prompt before.
Because vowels are overrated.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
Vowels for chumps.
4 guards show up. Well, 3 guards plus the leader of the guard. His name, which I have here somewhere,
It's,
Askew,
Askew, that's right. God.
shows up with 3 guards. And they come around to the side of the building where you all are sitting. Harmon is still sitting on the ground, gasping a little bit. And Askew and the guards approach. And Harmon, when he sees him, reaches up for Arik and uses his arm to stand up. And
I help him up, because I'm a sporting guy like that.
Askew
I'm
says,
mad at him, but I'll help him.
we were told there was an attack last night. Harmon nods. and says, I fear that one of our own may be in on it. He points to the crossbow in the room. He says, Lothar disappeared and trapped this room. If it wasn't for Brother Arik here, I would have been killed.
He points to the crossbow in his throat.
And the guards start going over the room, looking for clues. And they remove the shields that he has hanging on his wall. And behind one of the shields, you see a hole has been drilled into the wall. Leading... this would be the shared wall with the church beyond. The meeting room inside the church. Askew looks very grim at these discoveries. And they begin asking questions, like, when was the last time Lothar was seen? Is there anywhere he could have gone? They're very focused on Lothar the groundskeeper, and Harmon is answering the questions as best he can. They seem to not be prodding at all into the attack in the woods.
I'm not going to bring it up. I didn't want to talk about it in the first place.
Okay. Well, Arik mentioned it to Harmon, which is why I'm giving you guys the opportunity.
Yeah, no.
No.
I don't trust these guards at all.
Then Askew says,
Yeah.
We're going to put out the word to all the guards in town. We're going to find Lothar, bring him to justice, get to the bottom of this.
And what justice would that be exactly?
If it's true that he attempted to kill a member of the church, I imagine the sentence would be execution.
Mm-hmm.
Eric,
You're fucking done with this church. You're done with this town as I was the last time we went to.
burn them all down.
And with that,
They're
the
all-
guards leave.
They're holy men. They should be on top of this shit.
Khalil,
Yo.
you're taking a long rest, yes?
Yes.
Zook, you went to the rope maker's shop.
Yeah, I'm gonna approach it carefully from the outside, and apparently Tarin's coming with me.
I mean, if you don't want me to go, I won't. But
No,
I'm a
I'm
little
totally,
paranoid.
I'm totally down for backup, and you were available, so yeah, let's.
Wait, did you just say you were paranoid?
Paranoid, yes.
That's kind of become a thing, I think.
So yeah, so I want to approach it kind of cautiously because I don't know if he has also been targeted by assassins or whatnot. That's kind of what I'm trying to suss out.
The shop is open.
Can I see him? Is like through the window? Is he there?
Oh yeah, he's in there.
Oh, okay.
Busy making rope.
I asked Tarin to sit outside for just a second and go in and talk to him.
And the rope maker looking out the window sees you ask your friend to sit outside.
That's fine.
Okay. You go in.
And I basically I ask him how is he doing? Is anything suspicious thing happened around here recently?
When you walk in, he moves to one of the windows and looks out very suspiciously at Tarin. And then he closes the shutters on both of the windows, locks the door from the inside, and kneels down next to you and he whispers. He says, "So, did you find it? Did you find the treasure?"
Bill's down next to you.
Well, yeah. Why did he, oh, because I'm short. That's.
You're a little guy.
It took me a second.
You're a little guy.
I noticed his suspicion of Tarin, and I tell him, this is my captain. Some stuff's been going down. Is it okay if he joins us for this conversation?
And he looks at the door very suspiciously. He shakes his head and he says, "He's no captain of mine."
I kind of say, okay, fair enough. You know, I kind of told Tarin this may be the case with this guy. So hopefully Tarin doesn't mind sitting outside for a couple minutes and just, listening for any shouts. I tell him, what do I tell him? Because Zook's knowledge has been kind of weird since I missed the last session. Well, the first thing I tell him is that I ask him if he knows what happened to Priska.
And he shrugs. He's out there begging in front of the inn. More to the point, how are we going to get the treasure?
Okay, slow down. There's bigger stuff going on right now.
He interrupts you. He says, "There's nothing bigger than this, friend. This is what you signed on for. I dreamed that you would come and help me, remember?"
I understand, but there's a little matter of some assassins in town.
So you've made no progress. Have you even been into the church?
I haven't been into the church, have I?
You've had people in the church.
He says,
I've had.
I heard
Okay,
rumors
I
that there was
say-
a break-in. I assumed it was you."
If it was me, you wouldn't have heard rumors of the break-in.
And he nods, as I suppose that makes sense.
Yes.
So this is what you do, sending a non-thief to do a thief's job.
I like that Zook here is basically reassuring his contact that no, I have not made any progress. I have
And-
not even attempted it.
When it comes to light that you haven't done
I've been
anything.
doing. I tell him I've been scouting the area, but I'm waiting to make my move. For reasons it seems that it might not be safe to just bumble into it.
At any mention of the Assassin's Guild or the attack or anything else, he continuously interrupts and deflects the conversation back to the mission at hand, which is breaking into the church and stealing these platinum bars.
Okay, I kind of throw up my hands and say, to be completely honest, I mostly just wanted to give you a warning to watch your back. I don't know if they're going to target you because they've been targeting us. And I wanted to make sure you were alive. I will check on the
He
church.
says, "Who have you told about our mission?"
I've told no one specifically about... Have I told anyone... I don't think I've told anyone specifically about this mission.
He starts moving away from you, back towards the table where he was making rope. And he moves back behind it. He says, "You've told no one."
I've told no one about the church, no.
And you see he's reaching for something behind the table. but you can't see
What do you-
what.
And
He's looking he's squinting at you now, like he's very skeptical of you now because you keep wanting to talk about all this other stuff going on that he's not interested in, and now there's assassins in town and he might be being hunted, and
Oh, for God's sakes, this crazy dude.
he says, "Go ahead."
Go ahead.
What do you say to him?
I was gonna say to him, as he's backing away from me, like, where do you think you're going? You know, I don't know what you're going for, but you need to calm down.
And he says, "I get it now. I understand. You're trying to scare me. You're trying to deter me from the mission so you can keep those platinum bars for yourself and all of the glory in the Guild of Shadows."
Trust me, I have no interest in your platinum bars. I have platinum of my own already.
Oh, sure. Tell the thief you keep all your money on you.
I don't have it on me.
He says, "Well then, perhaps you should get back to work. Let me know when you have something more substantial to report.
Okay.
But I'll be watching you now, Zook. It seems I've underestimated you, and that was a gross error of judgment. But it won't be repeated, I can assure you."
Okay, buddy. Just watch your back. Because, you know,
Oh,
assassins.
And watch yours.
Okay. Jesus.
This
tits.
dude's like a level 2 thief.
Yeah, seriously. I'm about to put an arrow through his head if he makes a move at me.
But he's probably got like 90 magic items, so.
That's true.
And then what do you do?
It's true.
I leave the place, but I do not turn my back to him.
Okay.
I back out of there slowly.
And Tarin, standing outside, eventually the door opens and Zook backs out slowly, closes the door in front of him.
I look at Tarin, who is probably looking at me inquisitively, and I just shake my head and I go, "Fucking nutter."
Ah, they're not all so bad.
All right, and my other thing I wanted to do was to check on Priska's house on the way back.
Okay. Is Tarin going along for this too? Because it's like right next door here.
It's up to him.
Yeah, I want Tarin to come with me. I actually want him to come inside, but I'm going to do this very carefully. I want to check for traps at the front door.
I mean, the front door's... Remember, the front door wasn't even closed. This is a dilapidated house. The front door was like smashed in and hanging off its hinges.
Right. I want to check for tripwires or anything.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Make a perception check. Go ahead.
Okay.
Little paranoia never hurt nobody.
Well, I mean,
That's
we are
true.
dealing with assassins.
Does
and
Tarin
stuff.
use detect magic?
That's the second thing I'm going to ask. I'm not even kidding. So that'll be a 16 plus. What is my perception bonus? 10.
The
So that's a
entire
26.
town lights up like a fucking fire hydrant.
Yeah. That's a 26 on perception at the front door.
No,
It's
you don't.
like
You don't see any
Christmas.
tracks, and there's nothing magical about the door of this house.
So does it look like it looked last time I saw it, or does it look like it's been like
It
disrupted?
it looks the same as last time you saw it.
I asked Tarin to cast detect magic.
Yep.
No,
Scan
there's-
the room.
Nothing magical. Oh, when you step into the room, though, the room is filled with body parts.
Filled with body parts?
Yes. Looks like
Like-
somebody has been badly dismembered and laid around the inside of this house.
Is
Well-
it Priska?
Not sure, because all of the facial features have been removed and laid around the house.
It's
Does it
there.
look? Is the
and
blood
there,
recent?
And there.
Very recent, yes.
Like last night?
It would have been within the last couple hours, for sure.
Yeah. This is probably what happened to him after they shot him, and then they probably put him in here as a warning to us, because they would know we were checking on him.
Tarin went inside. Zook, did you go inside?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we
still
both
look
walked
for
inside
magic.
after checking for traps and
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
And there's no magic in the house?
No.
No magic in the house, and I
We're
haven't perceived any
paranoid,
trip.
but are we
Well, yeah,
paranoid
we're paranoid
enough?
as fuck. When we had spoken to him before, he had some items hidden under like clothing or whatever in the corner.
And you go look for those items, and they are no longer there.
So there's no evidence of his former items. Just what we're presuming is his body strewn all over the place.
Yes.
We've had some problem with zombies. You might want to burn him.
Well, he's
Crawling
dismembered,
hands.
so what's that?
Brawling hands. They're a
Orphan!
monster in FR.
Yes.
Orphan and Khalil wake up. What is your afternoon action, Orphan? We'll just go ahead and play it out, since it's your turn anyway.
So, we're supposed to be, like, I don't know if we're sticking to the plan or not, but I think that we were supposed to be going back to the inn to start, like, quote-unquote sleeping around late afternoon.
Well, the plan that I heard was you guys are
8
going to
PM.
be quote-unquote sleeping from 8 p.m. till 4.
Oh, okay. So afternoon's clear. All right. Okay. Let's see. So, I'm gonna ask Khalil, since he's right here with me,
Yeah.
if he'd be interested in going up to the castle to speak to this gnome character.
I don't see why not.
Shit,
Go
there's
ahead.
a gnome at the
let's go
castle.
ahead.
Yeah, there's a gnome that poses as a stable boy at the castle, and came to find out that this gnome tricked Falpier, the young cleanup boy at the inn, into stealing one of Abraham's buttons for him.
Yeah.
And then Arik sold Falpier to Linus Harpstring.
Didn't sell.
How much did you get for him?
He gave. He donated.
That sounds even better.
Yeah.
Lawful good cleric.
So Nich and Orphan and Khalil are doing what?
Yeah. So we're going up to the castle
He didn't
To
do
find the
anything
stable.
illegal.
to find the stable boy.
Nothing
Sure.
illegal happened.
The stable gnome.
You're not granted access to the keep. In fact, when you get up to... I mean, the gates are opened, but they're well guarded. And you're told that visitors will not be allowed into the keep today because the Lady Mayor is traveling.
Okay. Can we? I'll ask if we can speak to what was his name? I wrote it down, I think, but
Which character?
the
gnome.
the gnome.
Oh, it was after I left.
Yeah, I don't have it written down.
Rogan.
Rogan,
Rogan.
that's right.
What was
Seth
the boy's
Rogen,
name
yes.
again? Sorry.
The boy's name is Falpier.
Falpier. Yeah, I'll ask if we can. If we just, I'll say we just came to speak to Rogan.
I forgot. Did you guys let Holga and Wilbur leave? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
You,
going.
that's right. You watch them leave. Okay, so they're out of the store.
They are gonzo.
So you go to there and ask for Rogan. One of the guards looks at you and says, "Who?" And the other one nudges him and says, "That ugly stable boy they keep around." So, oh, yeah. What do you want to see him for?
Ask him a few questions.
Concerning what?
I'll look at Khalil.
Kill him with your fists and run.
How about hang on. Trying to think it because
Didn't bring anyone with any bit of subterfuge, did you?
No.
Orphan
No.
sounded like she had this well in hand, but then suddenly, nope.
No.
Related to the questions that we've been asking around town for the past few days.
Oh, also Zook.
Yes.
They heard that Abraham from the inn was going to be arrested, so they tipped him off, and he skipped town, and he had a body double that got arrested who is currently in stocks.
But
So Abraham is gone. Nobody knows
And we
where
hit
he
him
is.
with like 50 tomatoes.
Orphan threw so many tomatoes.
God, Orphan is such a dick. Everybody
Abraham
gets mad
was
at
the-
Khalil for being evil, but
Abraham, the guy who
you guys
owns
have been
the
more evil
bar.
than Khalil, honestly.
None of
Abraham
the
was
PCs saw
the
that.
inn owner. Yeah, he owned the inn. The inn is called the House of Abraham. So yeah, the guard asks, "What do you want to speak to Rogan regarding?"
It's related to the questions we've been asking around town as of late, past few days.
The guards kind of exchange glances, and without saying anything, one of them turns and heads inside the keep. A few minutes later, Sangster comes out. He's not the head of the guard. He's one of their head fighters.
Lieutenants, yeah.
Yeah.
Like one of the lieutenants. Comes out and meets the two of you at the
I
gate.
remember this guy.
He nods to
Sanger?
both of you. So I remember you both from the banquet the other night, the Slayers of the Squid.
Yep, that's me.
So I'm told you're asking around about this supposed Assassin's Guild.
Indeed.
He says, I recall very clearly the Lady Mayor telling you she didn't need your help in that regard.
Well,
And he continues, thank you very much for slaying the squid. Your further help is not needed in these matters. He turns to the guard standing there and says, close the portcullis. And he starts walking away.
Oi! Considering we were just attacked last night, I think we've earned some kind of explanation for it.
Sangster
That's
stops,
why we're investigating.
turns around, says, you were attacked.
Yes.
At the inn? We've heard no word.
Not at the inn. What? I'll point to Orphan. Show him the note.
Yeah, I'll fish out the note and show him.
He sees it, and this is just some scribbles on a piece of paper. What does this mean? He hands it back.
I said I was curious about the same thing. I had no idea what it would mean. I went out to where it indicates, as you can see here, it's a map of town, and found myself beset by assassins. I barely escaped with my life.
So, you went alone into the woods outside of town in the dead of night, got waylaid by brigands, and now you're bringing this business to the castle gates.
Yes, is that a problem?
Says, I'm sorry that you were robbed, but this sounds like it was your fault.
So, to be clear, I'm bringing a pack of brigands to the attention of a ranking officer in the guard, and your response, officially,
Get away from that other cat!
as the late mayor's guard, is to tell me that it's my fault.
Come here.
I'm telling you that bringing me a scrap of paper and a wild story about assassins in the woods doesn't amount to anything. He turns back to Khalil. He says, and where were you during all of this supposed attack?
I was there getting shot at myself.
He says, well, a moment ago, the woman says she went alone. Now the story is changing.
Went back.
When I returned with my fellows, they were still there.
Anything else?
Sorry, what?
He says, anything else?
I say, what more are you looking for?
I'm looking for a connection to why you're here harassing one of our stable boys. Where does it connect to Rogan? And why do you want to interrogate him outside of the castle premises?
Because you won't let us inside the castle premises.
The Lady Mayor is traveling and has given orders for no visitors to be allowed in. My hands are tied on that count.
And that's why we haven't asked to be allowed in.
He says, I'm waiting.
I see we're not going to get any assistance from you, so I see no point in continuing this conversation. Turn
Yes,
on my heel, walk right the fuck back down the road.
Damn right.
Alright, I'll follow on. I'll say to Khalil, what do you think? Is he in on it?
As you guys are leaving, the portcullis comes down on the keep. They don't close the doors, but they drop the bars.
He was very evasive. He's hiding something.
Eric,
Yo.
what are you doing this afternoon?
Couldn't sleep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Get this long rest on.
Before I do that, I say to Eldove, please check up on Flumph for me before I head back to the ship. Just let me know that he's okay.
Did
I
you
don't
tell
wanna
anyone
know-
that you
I
didn't
don't
bring
wanna
him
know
to the
more.
church?
Shh, Destil, shh.
I don't think anybody knows about that except Eric.
Oh.
Eric said he was taking him to the church and then didn't. But Eldove, you did not see Falpier in the church this morning.
Seems like a
I
reasonable
brought
thing
him
to.
to I brought him to the theater and have Linus watch over him because I didn't trust the church.
That seems reasonable considering their groundskeeper is an assassin.
I just want to know he's okay. I don't need to know more than that. And then I go back to the ship and I get my rest on.
Long rest. Okay, so you're going to be sleeping until about 10 p.m. So you'll get you won't get an evening action, you'll get a nighttime action.
Sure.
Eldove, what's your afternoon action?
I'm gonna go check on Fred, and then I'll probably take a rest after that.
Fred's sleeping at the ship.
Oh, he's at the ship? Well, I'll just go.
Fred stayed at the ship. He said, thanks, guys, but I'm going to skip a day.
I'll just take a quick look in at the lad here.
And they're doing rehearsals on the stage. And
Does he look like he's having a good time?
Linus is sitting at one end of the stage. Falpier's wearing like a giant horned instrument, and when you walk in and look,
He's wearing an instrument.
says, "Look at me! I'm Falpier Hornblower, and look what I can do!" And he blows into this huge tuba and makes this great noise. Like picture like the Majora's Mask Deku butt trumpet. Like that's kind of what he's. And Linus is sitting at the side of the stage, just grinning.
Falpier, call it by its proper name. That's a sham.
So Brick Road, how many levels of Bard does he have now, and can we take him on our next mission?
And Eldove, when you approach the stage, Linus stands, says, "Greeting, Eldove."
What have I done?
Says, "Have you brought news for me?"
Alice certainly. If we could talk a moment in private.
And he nods, and he motions the other actors on stage they should continue with Falpier's training. And he takes you out back into his cottage. And you see that the decanter of wine, which was full last time you were here, is now empty.
Oh boy.
Although the lad seems to be having a good time. Thank you for looking after him.
Says, "The lad is a born musician. I'll mold him into something very much like myself."
Well, Fred turned out excellently. So this all seems like a great idea to Eldove.
Linus, when you say Fred turns out excellently, he flips his curly golden locks over behind his shoulders. Says, "Unfortunately, Fred had other teachers, and one of them convinced him to shave his head."
Eldove is shocked. That is terrible.
Linus very much agrees. To say nothing of those dreadful tattoos.
Oh, no, the tattoos are alright.
Did I ever describe what Fred actually has tattooed?
I don't think so.
No.
I didn't know his head was.
No, I
shaved.
didn't know he had tattoos either.
he's bald and he has
I know
tattoos
he's
up and down his
bald.
arms.
I know he's bald because you've always said he scratches his bald head, but...
Oh.
No, he has tattoos on each arm. They're not pictures. They are.
No, I remember
They're
this. Yeah, back
scripts.
from the first session. Yep.
One arm is the tale of an elvish dragon slayer, and the other
Yep,
one is a
yep.
song about a half-elf who challenged a dwarf to a drinking contest.
That's
Right,
right.
that's why Eldove thinks both of those are fantastic tattoos.
So yeah, Linus inquires as to how the investigation's going. He says, "Arik showed up in some distress last night and asked me to watch over the boy. I'm assuming he's wrapped up in this somehow."
So yeah, we had a run-in with the assassins last night in the woods outside of town.
Good heavens!
Don't worry, they're dead. Except for two of them. Two of them managed to get away from us, but we'll find them eventually. We have a couple plans cooking at the moment.
And Linus tells you to let him know if you need his assistance with anything.
Eldove assures him that he will, and thanks him again for taking care of the boy, and heads back to take a rest. Is anyone at the inn?
Nobody's at the inn right now.
Alright, Eldove goes into his room, sets an alarm on the door and the window, and takes a nap.
A nap or a long rest?
Long rest.
Long rest, okay.
Then Fred comes to take his long rest at the inn and sets up the alarm.
When you walk into the inn, Glammy is keeping bar. And he Roll a perception check.
Oh,
Actually,
man.
don't bother with the perception check, because you know that Glimey's in on it at this point. Like, you can tell he's
Awkward.
watching you, but when you look at him, he averts his gaze and goes back to what he was doing.
Does he look burned at all?
Does he look burned?
Does he look lightly toasted?
He
Does he look
not.
like he maybe? Does he
No,
look like he
doesn't.
fell out of a tree at any point?
Into a wall of fire.
He does not. The only other person at the inn right now is... What was his name? I think Wilfong, the one you were gambling with, is having his midday meal. The rest of the inn is cleared out, which strikes you as a little strange until you remember that the owner of the inn is a wanted criminal who is on the run from the law.
Yeah, Abraham's having a bad fucking day, so...
So you go upstairs and you're going to sleep till 10 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay. Zook.
Captain, do you think we should let the authorities know that they have an exploded beggar, as far as they know, in a shed?
Oh, wait. I just want to say this, just because Destil mentioning that he wakes me up. But Baby mentioned everyone in our party does not set off the alarm.
Okay.
Okay.
That would have been funny if you hadn't said that, but okay.
That would have been
Now the
hilarious.
game the game will now be less funny for you having pointed that out.
Can I use a banana to make that not work right?
No, it's my magics.
Because I would love to see one of the party members get fried by
We've already
trigger
seen-
finger.
Yeah, we've already seen how his itchy trigger finger works.
Zook and Tarin, afternoon action.
Well, I'm talking to
Be right
Tarin
back.
right now. Tarin, do you think we should go inform the guards about this?
I mean, the other
Grizzly
thing
scene.
is there's a number of bodies of assassins laying out in the grove.
Should we inform them about that too?
I mean, who do you think calls in on it at this point? Let's compare
Honestly-
notes.
Honestly, well, my notes indicated.
There's the guy at the bar. There's maybe the stable hand.
Yeah, I
And
had
this is annoying conversation because this is for stuff both players were not here for.
right.
So
It's
Exactly.
amazing, isn't it?
the list, as far as I understand, is the barkeep you know is a spy, and
Yeah,
it
But
was
not
I
actually,
had-
not
I
actually
had
an
that.
assassin himself.
Because Holda, she ratted him out to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the groundskeeper,
Lothar. Mm-hmm.
Lothar.
and then this possibly the stable boy, probably
Rogan.
the stable boy.
We're pretty
Can-
sure about the stable boy because
So-
Falpier ratted him out.
Yes.
My original list of evidence I got from Presco was red velvet button, which matched Abraham,
Yes.
golden harp string that matched Linus, and
Yes.
holy symbol that matched Harper.
Yes.
Don't know anything about the holy symbol. It could have been the groundskeeper. The button, the kid who we sent to the bard, stole, and that's why we think the stable boy was in on it, because he was the one that convinced him. The harp string, one of Linus's understudies stole, and he ran away with the castle wizard. And I'm not sure if we think they're in on it or not.
So
We-
Oh, they ratted out the other one, right?
Yeah, and we also, well, at least I suspect, and I've mentioned this to the other characters, that I suspect the three people who are on the list of people who know that secret entrance, because it's a secret entrance leading directly into his tower in a town full of assassins.
No, it
Yeah.
leads directly into the basement level of the castle, and
Right, but
the
still.
first room it opens into was that alchemy lab.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, and just in general, there's not really any secrets between Zook and the player characters at this point.
No, fair enough. So
Just because there's not really. I mean, we'll deal with details as we
Yeah.
come to them. But I mean, I think everything is as it pertains to this assassination plot line. He's been kind of sharing.
Yeah,
'Cause they keep getting almost assassinated. And then
I mean, I
what about Captain Douchebag? What did they think his connection is?
Douchebag.
Captain Basmar, as far as we know, like his big crime is just that we know that he's a smuggler without a boat, and we know that. Oh, but
was
you
getting-
weren't
Yeah,
weren't
he-
here when the Lady Mayor and her associates denounced him. Basically, they're not going to
Yeah.
protect him anymore.
Well, because
well,
I told you
they
guys
said they
that
would
his
continue
room was-
protecting him, but they would give him much less latitude. Like they want him
Right.
to continue smuggling things in that benefit the keep, but not so much the horrible hallucinogenics.
Right. Because his room was booby trapped, as well. So I had him down as being in on.
Yeah, well, we
Assassins.
suspect him as well, don't worry.
Okay.
And also, somebody at the castle, like, if he's an assassin and they're giving him so much latitude, chances are pretty
Right.
good that one of the people on that list is
Right,
the one
so-
doing so.
my thinking is as much as I don't particularly want to leave a former member of the Guild of Shadows, I don't know that I necessarily want to report this. I mean, they'll probably find it at some point.
Do you want us to take proper care of the remains then, or do we want to leave it here for evidence? I mean, it's up to you.
Brickroad, let me ask you a question. As
Yeah.
far as Zook would know, does the Guild of Shadows have any sort of burial remembrance tradition protocol, or is it pretty much...
No, absolutely not.
That's kind of what I figured.
When you die, they denounce all knowledge of you, essentially.
Right. No, I mean, and that's exactly what I figured it would be. So, on a personal level, I wouldn't mind disposing of the body in some way. It can be fairly haphazard, but just having them splattered all over a room does not seem to be proper to me.
Is there a god of like assassins and thieves and so
Fair
on?
enough.
Probably. I'm not a good aligned one.
Tarin will pull some of his bags out of his inventory using mage hands to do the gristlier bits and collect up the remains.
And you bag up the pieces of this old beggar thief?
I mean, we could throw them in the lake as far as I'm concerned. Just,
That was
you know.
that was my plan.
Yeah.
Chum!
So that can be, I mean, I guess, I don't know if that'll take all afternoon, but I'd probably do
What
that.
path do you take back to the lake?
As sneaky of a one as possible, so we can take a little while with it.
I want
And
you to
will
trace the path on the map. Use your little hand and trace the path on the map.
Since I'm carrying a body, I'm going to actually be using stealth here. I don't know about you, Zook, but...
That'll be a
Yeah.
lot of stealth checks. You got a long distance to go.
You know what? Rather than dragging it back, can we not, like put it? Because no one's apparently going into the shack. He was alone in here.
Right.
What if we just put his body parts in the sack, and then put it in a corner of the room under what's left of the rags that were hiding his possessions, just so it's not scattered all over the place.
You can
Why
put it
don't
there.
we put all of his body parts in a sack, right? And then put him on the bed and arrange the pillows in such
There's-
a way that
there's
it
no
looks like
bed.
someone's sleeping there.
Yeah, there's no bed. This is a
Okay.
dilapidated
That works
house
for-
with nothing in
that
it,
works for me.
basically.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, we can
during
come back
when it's
to
not
it.
the middle of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we have a chance, we can. Otherwise, I mean, and I kind of indicate to him that it's not really super important for my guild to bury him.
So
Oh,
afternoon
it sounded
actions.
It sounded like he helped you out once. I feel bad
He
leaving him like
did help
this.
me out once. So yeah, well, sort of. I was blood connected to him to get all this shit.
So yeah, afternoon action.
If I have time, I guess I could go for a long at this point and try to get that lucky point up, because we're basically bracing for. We think there's going to be an attack on us tonight, right?
That's what
trying
we
to-
were baiting.
We were trying to bait some guys, so I kind of think back to the inn, right? Unless you have some-
Tarin's plan at this point, I think, would be to go back to the inn and basically sit guard if people are actually resting.
Okay, so
So he's
yeah.
fine with just a short rest.
Zook could use a full rest just to get his extra lucky point up. That's about really the only thing he needs
Gotcha.
at this point.
So Eldove's out till 10. And that brings us to evening actions, yes?
Yeah.
Orphan and Khalil.
I'd say we'd probably head back to the inn and
Yeah. And
assist in the
Yeah, and we'll share what we found or what happened at the castle with
yeah.
with Eldove and Tarin.
You couldn't just say the stable boy mishandled your steed and you wanted to talk to him?
They could have
What
said
about
We didn't
that.
have a
Steed.
steed. All
What-
we had
what-
was a
where
pseudo-real horse-like creature.
Then he mishandled your pseudo-real horse-like creature.
I don't do magic. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Hey, there's still dead assassins all over town too.
Arik, you wake up on the boat in time for an evening action if you'd like to take one. Do we still have Arik here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
I'm nomming on pork snuggling.
Pork snagglings. All right.
Pork snagglers, that's his evening action.
Yeah, I'll go to the inn.
Okay.
Is the captain there?
By the time you get there, yes, Captain Basmar is in the center of the room, with his usual entourage, but not as boisterous tonight.
Yeah, because he's hanging out in a wanted criminal's inn.
Instead of Abraham, Rolana is trying to run the whole house herself and having a difficult time of it. Wilfong has his gambling table set up. Filmar and Oscar are off to one side. Ever since Abraham disappeared, there's been a permanent cadre of guards stationed at the inn. Usually 2 or 3 of them just outside of the room, and they poke their heads in every so often. They don't stand in your way as you go in. But yes, Basmar is there, but he's being much more reserved tonight. And he looks at you and notices that you walk in and then immediately turns away and says nothing.
Who are we paying to stay in the inn now?
Who are you paying? I thought you guys were all paid up for a while.
But what if we weren't, though?
What if you weren't? Then you would either pay Glammy or
yeah.
Rolana.
I sit at the bar. I don't do anything right now.
Okay, and
Maybe
Rolana
if I think-
brings you a beer.
No, thank you.
Says your evening meal will be right out, love.
No, thank you.
I'm a little short-handed tonight. You can tell she's winded. She goes back to work. I mean, Abraham's gone. Falpier's gone.
Someone should help her.
10 p.m. rolls around.
Bartending.
Everybody upstairs taking a long rest or standing guard. 10 p.m. rolls around.
Okay.
Eldove wakes up.
Okay.
What a lovely night's sleep. That has allowed him to cast magic missiles.
Jesus.
He says it like that too.
What's going on
I don't
tonight?
actually know magic missile. Eldove is just gonna spend some time in his room.
Okay.
Plan was to wait to see if we were going to get attacked, right?
Yeah.
He cast the illusion of light snoring.
Yeah. So
In the room.
yeah. So we're I'm in my bed in the room, awake.
Eric.
He'll probably be sitting around in there too.
Oh, I know what I should do. Yeah.
Wait, what should you do?
I'm debating it in my head. I should probably go get Alpier and get him back to the inn.
He
Oh,
won't
that'll
come
be
now.
fun.
He's had a taste of the life.
Shortly after the evening
Yeah,
meal
I
was
know.
served, is the guy's name Filmar? I don't remember. Yeah, Filmar. Okay, Filmar and Oscar stand up. They thank the barmaid for delicious meal. You see coin changing hands. One of them gives her gold. He puts his hand on her shoulder. And they're extending to her comfort in this time of great need on her part. They realize
Aww.
how difficult her life is going at the moment with Abraham being gone and everything else. And
You're such an ass.
the two of them exchange some words. Filmar turns and heads upstairs. And Oscar nods to the guards on his way out and walks out the front door of the inn.
I'll reset the alarm.
Of course you do.
Why not?
Who's in which rooms right now?
That's a good... Yeah, let's make a quick note of that.
Okay.
I'd be hanging out in the same room as Orphan.
Who's in Eldove's
Tarin is
room?
Tarin is. He has his sword out. He's sitting in a chair. He's kind of bent over and looking a little haggard, seeing as... Even though by the rules I don't need a short rest, or a long rest, I haven't actually slept in a while.
You haven't. And if you miss another long rest, you're going to start accruing exhaustion. So Eldove and Tarin are together. Khalil is with Orphan?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're with me and Zook.
And Zook. Okay, cool. Fred is back at the boat. He's skipping today. Eric.
Is anyone in Eric's room?
What is Eric doing?
He's got an obligation to the boy. He's going to Linus's place to check up on the boy.
Okay.
Wait, what time?
It's 10 p.m. right now.
Yeah, meet me next.
Then, like, on your way out, Eldove will just, will tell you that the boy's doing well.
Eldove doesn't know he's leaving, so Eldove is upstairs in his room.
Oh, I thought he was
boy.
leaving
No,
from his room.
Eric was downstairs in the common room. He just
Oh,
watched
okay.
Filmar and Oscar,
Yeah.
so Eric has not gone upstairs as far as I know.
Okay, never mind then.
This is gonna be good.
Yeah. It's gonna be great.
This is gonna be good.
Crossbow bolt in the back.
Are we really having people walk around town alone? Is that really a thing
Are
we're
you really
doing?
splitting
That's
up
what's
during
happening.
a planned ambush?
So, before the
Hold on,
next
wait a minute,
awesome
wait a
thing happens,
See, I had an excuse, but Arik knows what happened to Orphan last night, and he's still doing this.
so what? So Arik, we'll do Arik first because this is the least fun thing that's about to happen. You go back to
That's the least
Like-
fun thing, huh?
the theater is closed for the night. Do you go? I mean, it's still pretty early in the night, so
Yeah, how
Like,
early do these
the-
shows end?
the theater is locked. But you could probably get in because they know your face if you were to knock and ask if Linus was about. But I mean, most of the troupe is still in here right now doing their cleanup and their after party and whatnot, having their evening meal. Their shows go from 8 to 9. So I mean, you could get into the theater, or you could go back to Linus's cottage and knock the door there.
Choose wisely.
I gotta think about this. Because my concern is the boy. Would I have reason to believe that he is more likely to be in the theater as opposed to Linus's place?
You have no idea.
I didn't think I would. No. Fuck it.
If you choose the wrong one, you're gonna die.
And you're admitted into the theater. They're cleaning up after the show, taking props back. They're starting to break the costumes down for washing. And you're informed that Linus is back in the cottage
Oh, shit.
with Falpier. And you were told that Falpier did excellently during the show.
Got the music in him.
I love how you described it as the Deku Mask butt trumpet.
He had Falpier's part was to come out and recite a short comedic poem about a talking goat that grants wishes, which he did admirably.
Wait, what's the name of this play?
I don't know.
Was it
Oh,
very
come on, man.
entertaining?
It was very entertaining.
Good.
So
I
Arik
sorta re-
decides to
sorta
leave well enough alone.
Yeah. He sort of reflects on everything.
Yeah.
And this
maybe-
is his mess, but the boy is really enjoying it. And that, I mean, despite the eccentricity of Linus and the fact that the inn still really isn't safe, it's the only place he knows where the boy is safe. So, regardless of whatever the fuck else is going on in this town, I think he's just gonna let it be and head on back to the inn.
Head on back to the inn. Okay.
So the next,
Eldove, you have an alarm on your door
And
Door and window.
and the window. Do you have the shutters open or closed?
Closed.
Closed. Okay. About an hour passes. Arik, you come back to the inn, and what do you do?
I'm aware of the plan of the try and bait these dudes into the inn, right?
You are.
Yeah. Okay. I go up to my room.
You go up to your room. Is there anybody else in the room with you, or you had your own room, didn't you?
I believe so. Yeah.
You guys took 3 of these rooms.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Eldove had one, Arik had one, and Zook and I were sharing the other.
Okay, so Arik goes into his room, and it's just how you left it.
Cool.
You're in there alone.
I wait patiently for shit to go down.
Seems like a bad idea.
All right.
Okay.
I think we all should
That'll
have
be
just
okay.
crammed in the same room if that's the case.
They're not gonna buy that we're sleeping if we're all in the same room.
Eldove and Tarin. Well, describe what you're doing in the room right now.
Eldove is sitting.
Tarin is sitting in a chair with his sword drawn, trying to stave off exhaustion.
Yeah, he's kind of slumped over, sort of half meditating, half just spaced out with the sword across his lap.
Eldove, what are you doing in the room right now, now that your long rest is over?
Eldove is casting a minor illusion of light snoring while playing solitaire.
While playing solitaire. Okay.